Like I said before, I'm covering the flashback scenes separate from the island scenes except in a few special cases. Kate is found by an Australian farmer while sleeping in his barn and gives Annie as her alias. We'll find out later that Anne is her middle name, so wait to stay inconspicuous there. The farmer gives her a job and turns out to have a prosthetic arm, so we all know where that's going. 3 months later, she tries to sneak out, but the farmer convinces her to let him drive her, saying everyone deserves a fresh start. But as it turns out, this is because he turned her in, desperate to pay off the mortgage his dead wife left behind. She tries to escape but injures the farmer, leading to what we all knew was coming as soon as we saw that arm. So of course she got caught because she tried to help someone. Someone who was only hurt because of her, but still, how can she be anything but sweetness and light? Jack finds Kate's mugshot in the marshal's jacket, giving us our first look at what will soon become known as the Jack face. Out on the A mission, Saeed suggests they make camp.
Saeed's right. You keep walking, you're not going to make it to the beach.
Yeah, why's that?
Trust me.
Yeah, why would you ever just want to tell him?
They'll find us. They have satellites in space that can take pictures of your license plate.
Shut up, Charlie. Sawyer reminds us all about the French transmission. Okay, I was willing to let it go once, but did they just have no faith at all in our ability to remember what happened just one episode ago? Actually, given some later events, maybe I answered my own question. They also decide not to tell anyone else about the transmission so they can still have hope of rescue. It's kinda cute that at this point, at least in some cases, the writers felt the need to explain why these people weren't sharing information. This will become pretty much standard procedure for them by about halfway through season 1. Jack fills Hurley in on the monster eating the pilot, and Hurley also finds the mugshot, and unlike Jack, he thinks that this could be, a problem. Lindelof and Cuse sometimes referred to Hurley as the voice of the audience, and this right here is one of the clearest instances of that. Boone puts the gun together again, but for no apparent reason no one trusts him with it, so they give it to Kate instead. Yeah, we'll see that quite a lot of these people are not very smart. When the group returns, Saeed immediately takes charge of gathering up food and water, already proving himself far more a rightful leader than Jack will ever be. Kate tells Jack about the French signal, but Jack lets her think he still doesn't know about her. Right now, that kind of thing makes sense. Unfortunately, this style of writing would continue through the whole series no matter how little sense it would make later. Hurley continues trying to talk sense into Jack.
I don't know anything.
Well, you kind of know she's in that mugshot. And that we found those handcuffs. And that guy keeps mumbling she's dangerous over and over.
All very good points, but Jack continues to insist there isn't any problem. This is where I really started to dislike him. He'll continue to stand up for Kate under some increasingly ridiculous circumstances, and it may even make less sense here because they've had hardly any time to form a relationship. Jack heads into the wreckage to find more antibiotics and finds Sawyer also combing through the luggage. Sawyer's now accepted that there's no rescue coming, so he's just scavenging anything he can find. And it's hard not to see his point, though Jack continues to be a dick about it. Also, I'm amazed either of them can stand to be in there. After 3 days with those bodies, it's got to be getting pretty darn ripe. Charlie meets Claire, starting one of the show's major romances. But since it's Charlie, I don't care. Hurley sees that Kate has a gun and is completely freaked out. Thank you again for acting just like I would. Jack would probably just be turned on. Kate checks on the marshal, who wakes up and immediately starts violently choking her, a quite insultingly manipulative method of making us see him as the bad guy for trying to bring her to justice. This lets Jack play the hero so he and Kate can eventually get to some sweet, sweet loving. Though he does finally acknowledge that Kate might not be such a good person and assumes she did something to provoke the marshal. He even accuses her of just wanting the marshal dead when she asks him to put the man out of his misery. Of course, the first time he acts reasonably about this, and it's just another way to put our sympathy with Kate. Michael asks Walt what he's been talking with Locke about. Turns out that secret was that a miracle happened to him. Hey, for this show that is specific. Michael also says he'll find Walt's dog Vincent, the dog of doom from the pilot, when it stops raining, and it immediately stops. This is our first explicit sign of Walt's powers after the polar bear thing hinted at them, but again, none of this is leading up to anything. Michael hears another polar bear and runs into a topless sun. This scene and a few others in these early episodes makes me suspect that originally they were toying with having a romance between them. For once, I'm glad it never went anywhere.
What are you making?
Whistle?
I used some tribal flutes once in a recording session. In a band.
Shut up, Charlie. The martial screams are now being heard throughout the beach, and it's clear to everyone, except, as with so many other things, Jack, that euthanasia is the only option. Sawyer reminds Kate that she has the only gun to do it with. The Marshal warns Jack not to trust anything Kate says, but when asked point blank what she did, he clams up. Considering that what she did turns out to be murder, it wouldn't have hurt his case, so what the hell? Kate tells the Marshal that the favor she was going to ask him was to make sure the farmer got his reward money. We even see her asking it again, so I guess Lindelof and Cuse really didn't have any faith that we could remember anything. The Marshal then asks her to kill him, just so she can be as off the hook for it as possible. But apparently even that wasn't enough for us to see her as an innocent child, so she makes Sawyer do it. Except Sawyer, for reasons I'm sure I don't know, doesn't just shoot him in the head, but the chest, and from far away enough that he misses the heart, forcing Jack to just smother the poor bastard. Damn, I'd hate to see these people go deer hunting. Locke lures Vincent to the beach with the dog whistle he made and lets Michael be the one to return him. Kate offers to tell Jack what she did, but Jack refuses, saying they deserve a chance to start over. Here's where the episode's title comes in. Tabula Rasa is a Latin phrase meaning blank slate, referring to the theory that there's no such thing as fate or destiny, and everyone comes into the world free to do whatever they want. A nice thought, too bad it's in service of justifying this rather unbelievable turn of events. She could kill you all in your sleep for all you know. We end on a montage of everyone growing closer together as they settle in for the long haul, much like the audience. Yeah, that makes so much more sense, thanks. It's a nice moment, too bad it ends on another foot massage reveal. My score for Tabula Rasa is 6 out of 10. We learn nothing new about Kate despite this being her first centric episode, and the somersaults the script goes through to paint her as an innocent victim of circumstance are annoying as all hell. Thankfully, the rest of the episode is buoyed up by a compelling moral dilemma, and the stuff with Locke and Michael works very well, enough to make you wish it had been the episode's focus.